Minister of Finance and Development Planning, Honorable Anthony G. Myers, distinguished deputies, Honorable Sarah McGill Mogba, Acting Deputy Minister for Budget and Planning, Honorable Bill McGill Jones, Deputy Minister for Administration, all assistant ministers here present, senior and junior professionals and technicians, ladies and gentlemen. It is with my highest esteem that I welcome you all to the 2025-2029 Ministry of Finance and Development Plan Strategic Plan Retreat with the theme Transforming Priorities into Strategies, Pathway to Efficient Service Delivery. Can we kindly rise for a moment of silence in remembrance of our fallen hero, the late Melvin Johnson, who was one of the frontliners in making sure that this process is a success. May his soul and all other souls that have departed rest in peace and power. You may have your seat. Next on our agenda, we have welcome and overview of the retreat. This will be done by the Honorable Bill McGill Jones, Deputy Minister for Administration. Can we kindly give a round of applause?
Morning. It's good to be back here. Into what I've been asked to say. I'd like to thank the staff, the technical team, the consultant, and everyone for the work done thus far. I think we see progress, and that is something commendable. Honorable Anthony G. Myers, the IT Minister of Finance and Development Planning, Honorable Henry D. Ngafuan, the IT Deputy Minister for Economic Management, Honorable Cyril Boba, the IT Deputy Minister for Budget and Development Planning, my colleagues, assistant ministers, our directors, employee of the Ministry of Finance, our consultant, and the media. I'd like to start by saying thank you, because 21 months ago, we all made a promise. We made a promise to move the ministry forward. Forward in the sense of restoring our lost image. Forward in the sense of positioning the ministry so that we can serve as the nerve for the government of Liberia. So today, we've gathered, not in the words of the IT minister as a gathering, we've gathered to reflect where are we going, where do we want to go, how do we want to get there. Each of those questions will be answered from 3 different engagements that we've earmarked under this process. It started out with you, the Ministry of Finance, ensuring that you provided your input at the different levels when the engagement started from our internal processes, the debt review, the lessons learned from the last 5-year strategic plan, and the new ideas that you brought to the table. From here, we intend to move out to our partners, the ministries and agencies, the development partners, civil society organizations, to also gather their views, because the work we do as a Ministry of Finance is a cut across process, so that when we draw up a strategic plan, that plan will reflect what the general Liberian society looks like. Lastly, we will also look at the portion of validating whatever we put together as a team, so that we can agree to disagree. Without much ado, I want to use this opportunity to say thank you. This workshop, this retreat, as you all know, is meant to ensure that we can enhance service delivery as an institution. And that delivery process will only begin based on the thoughts that each of us in this room will bring forth as we move forward. So on behalf of the technical team, I'd like to say welcome and thank you for coming.
Thank you very much, Minister McGill. I believe the team here is prepared to achieve all of these tasks. Next, we have remarks by our ministers. So I would like to call upon Minister Henry Ngafuan to make a remark, please. Deputy Minister, Acting Deputy Minister for Economic Management.
Minister to execute this task. Let me at the same time extend my greetings to every one of you who were here from yesterday, and we observed was very engaging and impactful. We had a fruitful day for the first day, looking at presentation, assessment, the previous plan, trying to identify gaps and how we can improve on that. Activities continues today and will be up to tomorrow. Like the minister said, they are not just an ordinary forum. They are trying to structure the activity of the Ministry of Finance in a way that we can have achievable indicators, and within the next 5 years, we can have good results that have impact on the country. So our being here is a time to think. It's a think tank that got for 3 days. And we can put our ideas together, document them, and show they are funded where necessary, and it can be implemented to achieve a goal that will have greater impact on our community. There are people out there in the slums, in the villages, and their livelihood depends on the activities we do here. So it's about time that we think about our country as we do this. We say thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Manu. Mr. Yapa, sorry. I would like to call upon the Acting Minister for Budget and Planning, Honorable Sarah McGill Walker. This is a very, very important program. We work in abstract, sometimes we
You have no guidance about what you're doing at the end of the day. To even measure the impact of what you've done is difficult. So this time now we've sat and brought our best of the best. The French people say the cream de la crème, to come and carve the pathway for the Ministry of Finance leading up to 2029. I think this is a good thing. There's a specter of us that will bring our best shot to the table. Everything that we do here, it has a reflection of our collective idea of where we want the country to go. It's a privileged moment that we have here to sit with this elected of 5 million persons to come and lead the development charge. It's not just for the Ministry of Finance, but it's for the entire government, because they have the Department of Budget and Development Planning that drives the national plan of the country. We have fiscal affairs that set revenue policy targets around. We have economic management that deal with all of our global interactions and things. So what we do today is just not limited to Ministry of Finance as a ministry, but it has a national implication. So please, let's put our time. Let's look at it critically. Let's set smart targets, and tomorrow we have ourselves, we take pride in whatsoever we do, to say, yes, this is what we did, this is what I contributed to. So thanks again for coming, and let us all put our time leading up to Sunday and come out with a very good draft document that is reflective of what we want our world to be up to 2029. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Minister Mogba. As the Minister said, we have to give our best, all of our technical expertise, but we should also network, because this is the best opportunity. This is a very important aspect of the program. We're going to hear from the Acting Minister of Finance and Development Planning, so I want you guys to stay put and listen keenly as we call upon on stage Honorable Anthony G. Myers. Please give a round of applause.
Good morning. A few minutes ago, I was spoken very strongly, and that was not because I just wanted to have an outburst, but that is because I want the Ministry of Finance and the staff of the Ministry of Finance to take themselves seriously. You have to take yourself seriously, not in the sense where you make yourself so proud, so big-headed, and uppity. That's not the taking yourself seriously I'm talking about. I'm speaking in the context of the expectations that the public have about you when they say you are from the Ministry of Finance. And that expectation is not misplaced, because the Ministry of Finance is the Ministry of Finance. All of you who work and walk between offices at the ministry, you know the amount of pressure you face. You know the amount of calls you receive from people in high and low places across the government, because they are dependent on you for this, for that. They want you to ensure that their budget policy notes are in place, that their spending plans are correct, their procurement plans are approved, their vouchers are moving, their allotment request is moving, their financial budget is in place so they can raise vouchers, etc., etc., etc. This retreat is intended for you to step back and reflect and recalibrate to determine how you can respond to those pressures in a more efficient way and in a more effective way, and more importantly, in a more professional way. A few weeks ago, there was the trending story in the media was the audit report. The audit report didn't say
any of us in the Ministry of Finance in 2.4 million. They were saying there were no sufficient documentation for the 2.4 million. He also didn't say that the 2.4 million were not disbursed to the receiving entities. That was not the argument. The argument was we in the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning will not present the evidence of usage, not evidence of disbursement. So all these daily and periodic challenges are reasons not to retreat, not to escape, not to bury our heads in the sand like ostrich, but to rather step back, catalog those challenges, and use our collective brain to come up with strategies for addressing those issues. Starting from early 2024 towards January 2025, we were absorbed in the process of developing a national development strategy and country development agenda. This budget that we are working on for 2026, and to some extent the one that we are executing now, 2025, we included in those various allocations elements of execution of the ARD and the CDA. This retreat is intended to help us to ensure, to follow up, to coordinate with our police across government to determine whether all the efforts that we made going in the mud and the rain and the sun across the country, whether they are actually demonstrating and delivering on those plans. If the ARD, for example, fails, they will not say the Ministry of Education failed, they will not say the Ministry of Health failed, or the Ministry of Agriculture failed. In actuality, it will be they were failing. But because we develop, we coordinate, and we report on the plan, we will be pointed out as failures. Because the next time we announce development plan or development strategy, they will say, what happened to the ARD? So this retreat, which is already labeled as internal retreat. So there is a double, because when you're retreating, you already going in. You go in your stronghold. Then when you make it internal again, that means there's a stronghold within the stronghold. It's meant for us to know what is it we are dealing with. Yes, at the end of the day, or at the beginning of the day, we will socialize, we will fraternize, we will sororize. But when it's time for session, let us take it serious. Even if you don't take it serious for anything else, take it serious for the DSA you will receive. Because when your settlement report, you fill it out form, you got to say, what did you do at Ambassador Hotel in spell notice? So, we want to say, firstly, we are happy with the level of attendance beginning yesterday, and even before yesterday, the level of interest that have been shown in the development of the plan for the past 15 months, because this began August of last year. August of last year. There have been certain core teams led by Mr. Tobawe and peace be to the actions the late Mr. Johnson, who have been continuously involved in the process. There have been many setbacks, there have been many false starts. We have planned and canceled and planned and canceled and planned and canceled this retreat, but you are not giving up. Whenever the Deputy Minister of Administration calls upon you, you are ready. And so we want to let Mr. Tobawe simply stand. All of those who have been working with Mr. Tobawe and the team of the RPCU, let us give them a round of applause. We are applauding you for your tenacity. Sit down, please. Meaning you have stuck to your task. You are not allowed all the many cancellations and postponement deter you. You are always promptly responded to the call to duty. This thing should set an example for how the MFDP needs to be, both as a ministry, as departments, as divisions, as units, and as individual staff. You know, responsiveness doesn't necessarily mean always giving the expected or positive feedback, but about being aware and being alert and ready to answer. So in the various tasks that you are assigned as an individual staff, as a unit, as a division, or as a department, how responsive are you? How quickly do you provide feedback to inquiries? Inquiries from within or inquiries from without? And the illustration is this. Our minister say we are like a heart, right? And the heart pumps blood to every part of the body. And for us in the service industry, the knowledge industry, because the Ministry of Finance is really knowledge-based service. Our brain, our head is our most important organ of the body, because of what we use. For other people, like the military, the police, the thing is their muscles and their physical attributes. So imagine if your heart, for example, you need increased brain activity. Right? You need increased brain activity. You mean you have a lot of tasks to accomplish, which means you have to do a lot of thinking and convey that thinking to your fingers and to your ego. So imagine your blood, your heart was slow in pumping blood to your brain. You start getting sleepy, you start getting sluggish, you start getting sloppy in your performance, in the document you produce. So in that context, with that analogy, think about the Ministry of Finance now being responsive. For example, the president traveled yesterday, right? Madam Minister Yatin, when did the request come for the president travel? They came 2 days before the trip, but the president made his trip yesterday. So that is the level of responsiveness, and it should not only be because how VRB and the president have to be attended to, but every other individual of society who have business to do with the Ministry of Finance. When you meet the Ministry of Finance staff, you should be able, for example, if you are from Fiscal Affairs, you should be able to say some little thing about what happened in administration, what happened in debt management, what happened with budget. Because the public out there doesn't make a distinction. My man saying from the Ministry of Finance, that's the question they always ask. So this retreat affords you the opportunity to gather cross-sectional perspective for you to briefly immerse yourself in the activity of other departments and get an appreciation of how all these different structures are coordinated into this big entity called the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning. And one of the things I want you to be taking note of is, what will you learn from the work plans, from the strategic plans of the other divisions and departments that you can relate to? Because that will inform you. If, for example, you are a procurement person who works on have policies saying we have to go out and engage taxpayers to ensure we know exactly how much they are supposed to pay next year. Don't say, but what can we do with it? You are paying from the taxes those people pay. The procurement you do is from the money that comes to the Ministry of Finance, we come through the revenue budget and get approved by the legislature. If you are a driver and you have to provide service to people, you will get to understand how those people are related. So, and if you say, okay, oh, back to the planning, what is planning? What is planning? If I remove from it, we are here to do money business only. Maybe somebody from the CAD department will be saying like that. You got to know the time-bound nature of plans. Certain things need to be done at a particular point in time, or else the essence of it is lost and the significance of it is meaningless. So then you will expedite, starting from ASU all the way to the CAD office, the process of speeding up the payment for a particular deliverable. So this workshop, this retreat is intended for every single person to get a picture of the whole ministry, and not just your small unit or your division or department. So to conclude, I would just like to broadly speak to 7 key principles that this retreat is about and that the strategic plan is about. 1, to provide a clear direction. Where is the Ministry of Finance going? So think about the Ministry of Finance as a moving vehicle, whether it's a ship, a bus, or a plane, and each of us are in different compartments. So if the bus is going towards Ghana, you will want to sit and face in the direction that the bus is going, right? You want to sit and face the direction that the bus is going, or that the plane is going, or that the train is traveling. In other words, when you get to know the broader strategic direction of the ministry, your department, your division, your unit will set their objective to take the ministry in that direction, to support the ministry in going in that direction. To also enhance our decision making. I already talked about quick feedback, quick reply, quick response to issue. To respond to get feedback, a decision has to be made. The decision has to be efficient, meaning you have to save time and resources. Something that you take 1 hour to decide, it should not take you a whole day. Take for example, if there's a crisis at the border, it usually happens, so this is not fiction. Well, we need to deploy the military, or the immigration need to reinforce. Perhaps there are cases of illegal migration into the country, and the immigration need money right away. The usual payment process will be also submit the vote, the government requires they go from this desk to this desk to this desk. But how can we do that? Maybe they were taking 1 week to service a normal AFL and immigration request. How can we do that in 1 day without compromising the PFN requirement? That's what efficiency means. So whatever collective thinking that can be put into ensuring that immigration and AFL get what they need in 1 day instead of the normal 1 week shows efficient decision making. It enhances decision making. And it should not be efficient, meaning it saves time. It should also be the correct decision. And it should also yield the expected result, which is being effective. They should get the money and they should go to where they want to go. Then your decision will be effective. Optimize resource allocation. Optimize resource allocation. Not only to the rest of the government. Obviously, that is our objective. But even within the ministry, if we use say 10,000 gallons of water a week, and much of it is wasted. How can we reduce our water usage and still get our toilet clean and still get our hands washed and all the wash requirements are met? As an example, the use of paper, for example, how do we optimize so that we can save on certain logistics and apply it to other places where there are shortages? This, when you have a plan, you can achieve those aims. But when you don't have a plan, you do it by guessing game, hit and miss, try and error. The Ministry of Finance, which is where people like accountants, auditors, economists, managers, public policy specialists to be working, cannot be acting on hit and miss or guessing game. And you can only optimize your resource allocation if you have a clear direction, if you have an enhanced decision-making policy, then you're able to optimize resource allocation. Adaptability. I joined the Budget Bureau in 2006. If some of our colleagues from there are staying here, is there anybody that knows me from Budget Bureau 2006? Where is Hamilton? Oh, okay, there you are. That's the time where now you have the thank God for April, not clap for April. Let's clap for April. Excel to do a whole budget using Excel. In 2007, 2006 budget outline, if anybody can remember, if you look at the outline for 2006 and 2007, today, you will see a $1 variance between revenue and expenditure. You know how that $1 variance came about? You know when you are doing Excel, when you work in Excel, right? And you eliminate the decimals. When you eliminate the decimals. And if the files are not properly linked with the formulas to aggregate the decimals, and you just look at it and add it manually, that's what happened. So the 2006-07 budget outline have a variance of $1 between revenue and expenditure because we didn't have FMS or we didn't have BMS. So what I'm talking about here, the Ministry of Finance and the staff who work there must be adaptable to changing realities, changes in public policy, changes in the society, changes in technology, and even changes in the respective fields in which we specialize. Those of us who are the vibrant economists, we should be in tune with the trends in economic thinking outside there, especially public economics. If you are an accountant or auditor, you should be in tune with the changes in the general accepted principles for accounting. It's evolving every day. I don't want to talk about those who are in IT technology changes. Before that, it was every 6 months. I know now it's monthly with the advent of AI. So the ministry is not removed from the world, from the real world. So we should be able to adapt to what is happening. The last year, for example, right? Last year, political adaptability. We started with an opposition-dominated legislation. We have to work with them and get the budget passed and get many laws passed. So at that time, we have to adapt to that situation. Executive is ours, but legislature is not ours. Then there was a crisis in the legislature for several months, about 4 months. How do you get the budget passed? How do you get legislation passed with the legislature divided? The Ministry of Finance proved themselves adaptive, and we went with that situation. So, at the policy level, at the technical level, and at the strategy level, the ministry should be adapted. Then the fifth thing is collaboration. Collaboration. And this is one of our triple C's. Coordination, cooperation, and collaboration. Collaboration means you are not self-sufficient and you don't assume yourself to be self-sufficient. The common saying is what? No man is an island. No man is an island. So, within your unit, division or department, you have to collaborate. The only way you can adapt is if you collaborate. For example, when everything was Excel based, all of us, our little bit of Excel knowledge, we will use it and do calculation here and there, right? But when you move to digital budgeting, whether BMS or Skipface or other, those who didn't learn that, we are lost. So we then have to rely on those of you who went further, who went beyond Excel and did actual data processing, who did access, for example. And you transmitted that knowledge to Skipface or BMS. We now rely on you. We have to collaborate with you. Otherwise, the decision we make will not materialize into checks, into budget, or into allotments. Or when the IMF or the legislature or the president say, give me budget execution report, immediately I have the data, the Excel database, but I'm not able to go there and quickly assemble a summary by expenditure category or by ministries and agencies. We rely on Javis. That includes the people in the CAG department, in or Mohammed or Jens unit, and those kind of people in the budget department. That's what collaboration is. You rely on each other for a single output. Now, this is where collaboration becomes tricky. If you say, I will not help this man because I don't want to make him shine. If it is a DMA who's supposed to provide the ministry's budget execution report or the ministry performance report, I say, oh, well, the DMA, why are we helping? To any extent that my department or divisions and units within my department are able to provide information for him to report for the ministry, we have to do it. And that is one of the challenges to collaboration that we see in our society when the effort you make will make another person shine. You say, I can't do that. That's not my business. Let the man generate more information. But remember, one day you'll be expected to shine. And these people will not help you, will not be there for you. So, it's a give and take. It's a give and take. So let us collaborate. And all of the aforementioned will help for us to increase our accountability. If we get clear direction where we want to go, if we have improved decision making, if we are adapting ourselves to changing situations, and if we allocate resources efficiently, optimally, all these things help to increase accountability. And this is where collaboration plays a role. If I write a note to the FPS team or whoever, I say I need this particular report for this purpose, we already have a communication of my intention. If I report something differently from the data they gave me, someone else will go and say, but what we got from FPS, or what we got from BMS, or what we got from AFC is different from what you are reporting. So that is one of the, that's why when the auditors come, right, they don't really go straight into the DMA, or they don't, in the case of the ministry budget, or in the case of the national budget, they don't really go straight to the CAG. They go to all the other departments and units that help these officials to generate their reports. And because they collaborated with them, it improved their accountability. Because the information they gave, to the extent that the information is substantive and is credible, is reliable, it helps them to be more accountable. In the same way, we have the army, for example, that come periodically, almost every quarter. When they come, they beat us in senior management, but they also come to different units and departments to corroborate the information we provide. If we are not collaborating with the rest of you, I will tell, for example, 2 days ago we had a meeting with them. We say, okay, the tentative revenue number for next year is now around 55.6. Because we collaborated with a whole team within the ministry and with the LRA, when they went to the the Revenue and Tax Policy Division, that's the number they got. When they went to the LRA, that's the number they got. So collaboration improves your ability to be more accountable. And finally, competitive advantage. To build your competitive advantage. The Ministry of Finance, most of you have been to cabinet meeting, right? You have been to cabinet meeting, right? That long table, the president and the VP sits at the head of that table. They got a lot of seats around the table. How many sit there for the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning? 1. So as far as the rest of the government is concerned, the Ministry of Finance is just one ministry. Irrespective of your size, irrespective of your scope and your outreach and the leverage that you have across government, you are in one ministry. Your minister has one lesson plate or 12. The Minister of Finance is not like the president office. The president has a lot of several official place, right? Because of their reasons. But you can have one place. In other words, the ministry needs to compete with the rest of government to be recognized, to stand out. Since last year, the director of the cabinet has been making us to sign performance contracts. You are hearing about that, right? Yeah. In this performance contract, we set our own objective. We say, Mr. President, this is what the ministry is going to do. And the president who may add other things, okay, in addition to what you have said, please do this and this. Other ministries do the same. We have to compete with the rest of government to get the president's approval rating. We have to compete. We have to compete to make the legislation approve of our performance. We have to compete to make the public appreciate our performance. We have to compete to make civil society and the media grade us favorably. The only way we do that is we will have a clear strategic plan, a clear sense of direction, and we should collaborate with one another. We should use resources wisely, and we should appear more accountable internally as well as externally. With that said, I wish to, on behalf of the Minister of Ngafuan, once again extend our appreciation to the core team that brought us here and to all of the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning and our affiliates, to our consultants, for the work that you have done. And we hope that this session, especially today's session, which is a middle session, which is a real working session, will actually be a working session. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for the words of encouragement. I believe this is a wake-up call for us all to exert ourselves in developing a efficient and effective MFDP strategic plan that has clear direction, improved resource allocation that is adaptable and collaborative. I'd like to acknowledge the Controller and Accountant General, Honorable Elwood Neti. So this program, official program, has come to an end, but I'd like for us to take a productive minister in our midst to witness top-notch intellectual discussion relating to the development of the MFDP strategic plan. And I believe he has a lot to say, but before he comes on stage, I would like to call upon Honorable Bill Marvin Jones to give a little update to the minister.
Thank you, Lydia. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Minister, let me use this opportunity to formally welcome you to the retreat room. We call the area the think tank today. It's the place where ideas are crashing from one end to another. So it has been 2 days of intensive, proactive discussion, because I've seen across the room our team from different departments engaging on a more professional level, engaging with ideas, making suggestions, not in a bad way where people will have force, but it's been very constructive in a way. Even if you disagree with your colleague, it's in that form and manner. And I think that's the reason why I have the strongest conviction that our strategic plan is going to come out as something very strong, because the ideas that are born in this room, within day 1 and day 2, spoke a few things. One, how do we position our ministry that serve as the nerve of the government system to respond to the different pressures and also implement the national development plan. 2, how do we align our institution in a post-USAID world and also the new dimension of the country, of the global community moving from aid to trade. All of those conversations have come in here. Also, regarding our institution itself, there have been conversations around the cross-cutting issues around mandated function, cross-cutting department functionalities that used to be local, and there have been reviews of different programmatic areas that reflects our system, for instance, and all the different parts. So it's been engaging. So we started yesterday with the pistol analysis. It was very engaging. We had different performance of strategic plan, looking at lessons. And in SWOT, we also had an opportunity to review different sections from departments and units, making presentations to speak about what 3 core questions, Minister. 1, about where they are today. 2, where do they want to go? And then 3, how do they want to get there? So those specific questions have been answered by the department, which brings everything together in the context of what you say. Even though the consultants were hired to work with us, but the Ministry of Finance, units, divisions, and departments are leading the process of giving us their own story. They are the storyteller in this engagement. So on behalf of the team, I want to respectfully say thank you. And with that note, we also use this opportunity to say our minister, the vision bearer of the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, is Honorable Ngafuan is here, and he has come to interact with all of us to ensure that his thoughts will also be part of the strategic plan as we move forward. So on behalf of the team, Minister, I want to formally say welcome and thank you for taking up the time to join us. And with that, I will then ask all of us to please stand to welcome the Minister as he comes to engage with us. Please have your seats. Well,
discipline, but being here virtually, watching things and being immensely proud of the opening session and some of the feedbacks and the engaging activities. There's a quote from Sir Isaac Newton that I like. And he says that he could see further because he stood on the shoulders of giants. I was not here, but you were here. The ministry was here. And the ministry proved that it's a ministry that is strong. It's a ministry that is not dependent on an individual. So we have an institution, and that makes me very proud. Follow the opening session, follow the brilliance and eloquence of deputy and acting ministers. Some were brief, some were long, but everyone was insightful. Let me thank Mr. Myers, who gave very animated, lecture. That was a lecture, qualified for a lecture. And I have to take some notes from his lectures. And all of you will follow the comments. And thanks for mastering the ceremony. And that the inputs have come. And thanks to Guru consultants. You are proving to be gurus in this area. Thanks to the Ambassador Hotel. What a nice facility. We're giving them free marketing, which we charge them to reduce the cost. But this is good. This is very good. I'm here tonight and to see the professional cadre of the ministry, conglomerated, interacting, as Sarah said this morning, coordinating, knowing each other. Sometimes people may get concerns about those above them and those below. You forget about the horizontal relationship, those around you. Sometimes those around you to help you to grow forward, make you more diversified. And so, this is a place where we groom men and women. We come with humility to learn from each other and sharpen our collective skills. We do not claim perfection, but perfection we aim for, always. As noted by many of you in your comments, there is a ministry whose responsibility is very huge. Liberia depends on us. And to be in this room should make you proud of yourself. Because you are one of those that Liberia depends on. They don't take it lightly. Don't take it lightly. Many people can have great ideas, many places sometimes they don't have the opportunity to translate the ideas into action and impact. But to be here, you have the opportunity to push your ideas and you can take some action. And I usually say that the budget is where governments walk their talk. After all the speeches, check the budget, check the resources. The process of action budget. The most important document in the land is the Constitution, but to me, the next most important is the budget, supported by the strategic plan. I had to do that amendment because I saw John Wally come back to give me some cross. Sorry that I didn't come to you. So, thanks for coming. I see people that would not ordinarily see at the ministry. I wanted to just stress one or two things. We had a pre-engagement, very lively pre-engagement at the ministry with the group or something. Some of you were there. I was giving some pointers and you all were. That was a good teaser. I know you have had an opportunity to do some deep dives. Those deep dives not it's not diving, it's a deep fly. But one or two things I wanted to still stress. I know you're talking about amendments, reviewing the act, doing gap analysis. Going forward, we cannot forget our threats. What are the threats we face as a ministry? What are the things that, we don't consider serious but have the propensity to take us off our duties and the distractions of life? We have to understand the emerging or the evolving landscape of the country. And the debates out there are very lively. We cannot think that we can put an iron curtain between ourselves and what is happening out there. We have to know that we will always be audited. Audit is a routine. It is part of our anti-corruption agenda. And so, one of the goals we need to set is to have unqualified audit reports. That's our vision. We have qualified. The Auditor General says that, you can't recall in recent years when the government had an unqualified report. Maybe it happened some time ago, I don't know. We had qualified report in 2024, but because of the gap between understanding, we saw a reaction out there. It was like some people who don't understand these kinds of reports, they interpreted the report in the way they thought would suit them. It took away our time, our energy, took us from work. There's a threat. It's a race. And it will even get more and more the reality. Living a lively society. We have to engage in more financial literacy because there is serious financial illiteracy. Because of that, some of you doing your work diligently will be considered thieves. Thieves. Sacrificing for your country. You work long hours. You pride yourself of your family. Your church, your mosque. How much do we pay you? How much do we pay you? You be called thief. But as I said, that's one of the occupational hazards to work with a Ministry of Finance based around. You have to get prepared for that. If you don't want to be called thief around here, you gotta get a tough skin. Just don't be a thief. Just don't be a thief. But the thing that because you're not a thief, you'll not be called thief. Then you live in a food paradise. You live in drama. We should not be thieves. Inequality. We should not. And one of our goals, being the custodians of the public resources, we must be strong on integrity in the military. How can we tighten our processes? For me, it's not an issue of naming and shaming, but let's prevent it. How can we use technology? How can we use controls? So I hope the strategic plan can speak to that. Because, as I said before, in my first thing I reiterate here, we are the ones that take care of the country's bananas. If someone here can remember, I said, because of that, we cannot be monkeys. We are the ones that take care of the country's bananas, so we cannot be monkeys. So, strategic plan has to speak to our plan to be faithful to that reality. To that reality. We have to protect the nation's resources and make sure that as much as possible, the nation's resources are dedicated to the nation's priorities as outlined in the arrest agenda for inclusive development. We need to be laser focused on the big times. We are dealing with the mean constraints of growth, or infrastructure deficits, roads, energy. We are attracting donors and partners. And let us never ever forget the big targets. There will be petty distractions. When you are a big ministry, think about the big targets. But let's ensure that we are faithful to our mandate on those ones. The other thing I wanted to stress is that we need to report. We need to report accurately. We need to communicate what we do accurately. And so we cannot take it to be like not a serious business. Liberia expects us to report. Reporting on time and reporting accurately. Reporting for partners. Reporting for stakeholders. Reporting for the people who are in the rural areas. You know, in language that they can understand. Whether it's open budget initiative, citizen budget, we need to be able to report to our people. Bring the ministry closer to the people. So all those initiatives that are happening, whether it's open budget, citizen budget, anything that can bring the people closer to us, let's continue to do more. You know. So I wanted to stress those two things. I stressed the other one before. So I don't want to belabor those points. Yes, we need to improve our efficiencies. We need to also be better clients, no better servants of our clients. I heard Minister Myers talking about responsiveness to our clients. Who are our clients? Ministries, agencies, commissions, and others. Our turnaround time, generally we have to turnaround time. But you know, turnaround time may improve. But to maintain the turnaround time, we have to maintain the revenue collection and generation speed. Otherwise, we put a brake on the computer generator. So, as I said once upon a time, sometimes they are approved delayed, and sometimes they are unapproved delayed. But where we're going with revenue generation, we'll reach a point where there is no need to tell the folks from budget to slow down. of fiscal slowdown. The Controller General hold a check until we confirm. You know, we want things to move. I told our colleagues in ASU, the County Services Unit, and I need to reiterate, we want a system that is efficient. We want people to process their transactions, their payments, where they don't have to send any expedite out of the industry. When we reach that point, then we are being good stewards of the people's resources. That they come, make their request, budget, they allot it, goes to fiscal does its part, and then Controller General does its part. No one should expedite anything. Can we reach that point? Can we do that? Google Consulting, is it impossible? Is it impossible? If the ASU now are told, and I will check, they say they do a 3-day turnaround, you know, all departments need to turn budget their services to other units. How long do we take to do things? Yes, we import, you know, technology to be able to track, but in the meanwhile, track yourself in your crew method. How long do we take to do our work? How long do things, transactions, documents, even in my office, the COS and the head of the Ministerial Delivery Unit and all the appendages for focal points. We need to be able to hire to help us to be efficient. Let me take this time to welcome all the focal points. Those that came in the NDU, and I'm told we have some new people in the house, right? New people in the house. With the deputies and get our new focal points who were hired for the deputies and for the assistants. Can they stand up and know them? If they are here. New focal points. Okay? Please introduce yourself.
My name is Ngafuan, senior. I'm in technical government for Mr. Labi.
Okay, sorry, there's an aside. So let me have long ears. Okay, he has white shirt.
My name is David Hamon, and I'm the TFP to the Assistant Minister of Budget.
Okay.
My name is Solomon Mora, and I'm the technical point for the Office of Assistant Minister of Liberia Transport.
My name is Emmanuel Boom Weather Senior, technical focal point to the Assistant Minister for External Resources and Development in the Department of Economic Development.
Okay.
Happy to be here.
Thank you. That's all we have?
Yeah. I will have
You have a technical haven't had this kind of.
What was it? Yeah, okay. Can you get a microphone to it? This side.
Yes, state the introduction.
I'm Lisa Young, and I'm the technical corporate Israel Affairs Department.
Okay, MDU folks are here, starting with Alex and Elias. Okay, all of you guys are here. Please speak.
Just pray. Just pray.
So my name is Perry Adamsaka. I'm the technical liaison for president of the MDU assigned to economic management. So that's it.
My name is Benita Aga. Technical liaison for CAG.
Hello, my name is Esther Manuel Lord. I'm a familiar face in the Ministry of Finance. I used to work here before, and I'm back. I'm the technical liaison for corporate for the Department of Budget and Development Planning in the Ministerial Delivery Unit. Thank you.
All of you welcome, and to say that you are joining a team of giants. Please come with professionalism and humility.
This is the one the last person.
Now, okay.
I'm the sales leader, I'm the public engagement specialist, in Amsterdam.
So, new persons have come, but it doesn't mean that we don't value the old. So, we want professionals to work together. Some of you who have been here, some of you for ages, value your work. We are looking and we are checking. We will continue to rotate, as I said, rotation is not indictment. Some have been prepared for greater opportunities. We want to see their ability to show flexibility and dexterity. So we'll push you around small to see whether you can get played many wings on the field to justify bigger responsibility. So, as I said, rotation will be routine. It's not indictment. It's not indictment. You value the old, you value the new. No one should walk here with pump on their shoulders. Let's learn from each other. Every one of us knows something that other person may not know. Learn from each other. So thank you again. It's Margibi Jones and your team. As Maya said, it's been difficult to have this. You've been in this process has always been postponed. Each time it meets big processes, it suffers. We're trying to do it. They thought it could compete with National Development Plan. You saw what happened to it. And then you try to do it. Then you always want to compete with big things. And then you try to compete, you almost suffer, but the goals come with you.
Yeah.
But it has come out very well. And all of you, in the planning process overwhelmed, and our Linda Farmer and others, in this public manner, we have to remember the late Johnson, who was practically leading this effort, and he passed. May his blessed soul rest in peace, and let us continue to work as a family, backstop each other, not backstab each other. Backstop, don't backstab. And with this, wish all of us well. We avidly anticipate the report, the plan, and we'll try to make the plan a living document. As I told the consultants can just facilitate. They have to take out from us. So to see you all here like this, at this kind of time, 4 numbers, it means that you are ready into it. I know the job of the consultants will be very easy. So thank you again, and may God bless us.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, for urging the Assembly to perform our function and mandate as distinctly as a ministry. We appreciate those words.